Most finance videos about investing $1,000 tell you the same 5 things everyone already knows. Index funds, high-yield savings account, max your 401k, pay off high-interest debt, maybe buy some ETF. And look, none of that advice is wrong. That advice is fine. But you've heard it 100 times already, and if it was going to motivate you to do something, you probably would have done it by now. Today, we are going a different direction. I'm going to show you 8 ways to put $1,000 to work that most finance channels either don't talk about, gloss over too quickly, or bury at the bottom of a list after spending 20 minutes telling you to open a Roth IRA. Some of these are unconventional. Some of them will make traditional finance people slightly uncomfortable. All of them have a legitimate case for being the single best use of $1,000, depending on your specific situation. And here's the thing about $1,000 specifically. It's an interesting amount of money. It's not so small that it doesn't matter. $1,000 invested consistently and intelligently can genuinely change your financial trajectory over time. But it's also not so large that you need a financial advisor or a complex strategy. It's the perfect amount to learn with, to build with, and to start with. So if you've been sitting on $1,000, or if you're close to having it and you're not sure what to actually do with it, this is the video. Not the standard list. The stuff nobody talks about. Welcome to my channel. Hit subscribe if you want to keep seeing financial reality explained without the fluff. Let's get into the 8. Number 1. And this is probably the most controversial one on the list, so let's get it out of the way first. Invest in the skill that directly increases your earning capacity. I know. Every finance person reading that sentence just winced. Investing in yourself isn't really investing. It doesn't compound in a brokerage account. You can't track it on an app. It's not a real asset class. Except here's the math that makes this argument fall apart completely. The best investment you can make in your 20s and early 30s is almost always the one that increases your income. Because every dollar of additional annual income compounds forward for decades. If a $1,000 course, certification, or skill development program increases your annual income by $5,000, that's a 500% return in year 1 alone. No index fund is touching that. This is not a blank check to spend $1,000 on any random online course that promises to change your life. I'm talking about specific, targeted, marketable skills that directly translate to higher income in your specific field, or in a field you're trying to enter. A coding bootcamp module that gets you a promotion. A certification that qualifies you for a higher pay grade. A specific technical skill that makes you significantly more valuable to employers or clients. The key question to ask before spending $1,000 on skill development is, can I draw a direct line between this specific skill and a specific increase in my earning capacity within the next 12 months? If yes, this might be the highest returning investment on this entire list. If no, skip it and use the money for something else. The finance industry doesn't talk about this because you can't open a brokerage account for it. But for the right person at the right stage of their career, it is genuinely the best possible use of $1,000. Number 2. If you don't have at least $1,000 in a dedicated emergency fund, not in your checking account, in a separate account specifically for emergencies, that is where this money goes first. Before anything else on this list. Before investments. Before anything. I know this sounds like boring standard advice. But here's why it's on the unconventional list. Most people skip this step. They get excited about investing, they put money into a brokerage account, and then a $600 car repair happens and they either pull the money out of the investment account, potentially at a loss, or they put the repair on a credit card at 21% interest. A $1,000 emergency fund is not an investment in the traditional sense. But it is a financial foundation that makes every other investment decision more effective. Without it, you are one unexpected expense away from going into high-interest debt. And high-interest debt at 21% is a guaranteed negative 21% return on your financial position that no investment portfolio is going to overcome. Here's what makes this unconventional: the account matters. This is not a regular savings account at your main bank, earning 0.01% interest. This goes into a high-yield savings account, Marcus Ally SoFi or similar, currently paying 4 to 5% APY. Your emergency fund should be earning real returns while it sits there. Not stock market returns. Not exciting returns. But real returns that beat inflation while keeping the money liquid and accessible. A $1,000 emergency fund at 4.5% APY earns $45 a year doing nothing. More importantly, it prevents you from making a $210 interest payment to a credit card company when your car breaks down. That's the real return. Number 3. If you have any debt at 15% interest or higher, and a lot of people watching this do, paying it off with $1,000 is a guaranteed return equal to the interest rate. Guaranteed. Not market dependent. Not subject to volatility. Guaranteed. Let's make this concrete. You have a $1,000 credit card balance at 21% interest. You're making minimum payments of about $25 a month. At that rate, you'll pay approximately $800 in interest before the balance is cleared, and it'll take you over 4 years. Pay it off today with $1,000, and you save $800 in guaranteed interest. That's an 80% return on a $1,000 investment over the period you would have been paying. No legitimate investment offers you a guaranteed 21% annual return. The S&P 500 historically returns about 10% annually before inflation. Paying off a 21% credit card beats that by a mile with zero risk. The reason this ends up on the nobody talks about list is that it's not exciting. There's no app for it. There's no chart showing your gains. You can't post about it on social media. You pay off the debt and you feel relief, but you don't feel like an investor. And the finance content industry is optimized for excitement, not for the boring highest return decisions. But if you have high interest debt and $1,000, this is almost certainly the highest return use of that money. Do the math on your specific debt. If the interest rate is above 10%, seriously consider whether paying it down beats every other option on this list. Above 15%, it almost certainly does. Above 20%, it's not even close. Number 4. I know I said we were going a different direction from the standard list, and a Roth IRA is on every standard list. But most videos mention it, without explaining why it is genuinely one of the most powerful financial tools available to regular people, and why $1,000 specifically in a Roth IRA in your 20s is worth dramatically more than $1,000 anywhere else. Here's the part nobody explains clearly. A Roth IRA is not an investment. It's a tax wrapper. You put money in after tax, it grows completely tax-free, and you pay zero taxes when you take it out in retirement. Zero. Not reduced taxes, zero. Now here's the math that makes $1,000 in a Roth IRA at age 25 extraordinary. $1,000 invested at 25 at an 8% average annual return becomes approximately $21,700 by age 65. Tax-free. Every dollar of that $21,700, including the $20,700 in growth, is yours with no tax bill attached. If that same $1,000 grew in a regular taxable account, you'd owe capital gains tax on the growth. Depending on your tax situation in retirement, that could mean losing $3,000 to $5,000 of that $21,700 to taxes. The Roth IRA is most powerful when you're young and when your income is relatively low, meaning you're already in a lower tax bracket now than you'll likely be later. You pay taxes on the seed at the current low rate, and you harvest the entire crop tax-free forever. The contribution limit is $7,000 per year in 2026. You can open one at Fidelity, Vanguard, or Schwab in about 15 minutes with $1,000 minimum in most cases. Put it in a total market index fund inside the Roth and let it compound for 40 years. This is genuinely one of the most powerful things a young person can do with $1,000, and the reason it's on this list is that the standard explanation never does justice to how extraordinary the tax-free compounding math actually is. Number 5. And this one is going to make some traditional finance people uncomfortable. Buy fractional shares of 2 or 3 individual companies that you genuinely understand, not because you think they'll go up, but because owning a piece of a business you understand teaches you things about investing that no book or course can replicate. Let me be very clear about what I'm not saying. I'm not saying put $1,000 into meme stocks. I'm not saying pick the next big thing. I'm not saying individual stock picking beats index funds over the long run because it usually doesn't. What I am saying is that there is enormous educational value in owning a small stake in a real business and watching how news, earnings, competition, and economic conditions affect its price. The difference between reading about how markets work and actually having $300 in a company you understand is the difference between reading about swimming and getting in the water. Pick companies whose products you use, whose business model you understand, and whose competitive position makes sense to you. Not because of a tip you saw online. Because you actually understand what they do and why they make money. $300 in one company. $300 in another. $400 in a third if you want 3. Watch them. Read their quarterly earnings. Follow news about their industry. You will learn more about how markets actually work in 6 months of owning these stocks than in years of reading about investing in the abstract. And that education will make you a better investor with the larger amounts of money you'll have later. This is not your retirement account strategy. This is your investing education fund. The distinction matters. Number 6. If you have any kind of side income, freelancing, a small business, content creation, any service you sell, investing $1,000 in tools that directly increase your capacity to earn from that side income can generate extraordinary returns. This is different from investing in skills. This is investing in the infrastructure of an income stream you already have or are actively building. A better microphone if you're doing content that requires audio quality. Software that automates a task you currently do manually. A piece of equipment that allows you to take on jobs you currently have to turn down. A tool that increases your output speed or quality in a way that translates directly to more revenue. The key distinction here is direct and measurable income impact. Not tools that make you feel more productive. Not equipment that would be nice to have. Specifically, the thing that is currently limiting your ability to earn more from an income stream that already exists. If you have a side hustle generating $400 a month and a $1,000 piece of equipment would allow you to double that output, that's a 3-month payback period. 3 months and the tool has paid for itself. Everything after that is pure return. Most people don't think about their side income tools as investments. They think of them as expenses. But the math of a high-return tool purchase, measured against the income it generates, can beat almost anything else on this list for the right person in the right situation. Number 7. Series I savings bonds, I bonds, are one of the most underutilized savings tools available to regular Americans, and almost nobody under 35 knows they exist. Here's what they are. I bonds are U.S. government bonds, where the interest rate is tied directly to inflation. When inflation is high, the I bond rate is high. When inflation is lower, the rate adjusts down. They are issued by the U.S. Treasury and backed by the full faith and credit of the U.S. government, meaning they are essentially the safest savings vehicle that exists. The rate adjusts every 6 months based on CPI data. During the inflation surge of 2022, I bond rates hit 9.62%, an extraordinary guaranteed return on a completely safe investment. Even at more moderate inflation levels, they typically beat high-yield savings accounts while carrying zero default risk. The catches, and there are a few. You can only buy $10,000 per person per year through treasurydirect.gov. You have to hold them for at least 12 months before cashing out. If you cash out before 5 years, you lose 3 months of interest. They're not liquid in the short term. But for $1,000, you're not trying to park a lot of money here. You're starting a position in an inflation-protected savings vehicle that most people your age have never heard of. If inflation picks back up, having I bond exposure means your savings are keeping pace with the thing that erodes the purchasing power of every other dollar you have. This is the one on the list that virtually no finance content creator aimed at young people mentions. It's not exciting enough. There's no app. But for a portion of your $1,000, especially during elevated inflation environments, it is genuinely one of the smartest places that money can go. Number 8. Real estate investment trusts, REIT, allow you to own a fractional piece of income-producing real estate with as little as the price of one share. And for a generation that has largely been locked out of direct real estate ownership, this is worth understanding. A REIT is a company that owns income-producing real estate, apartment buildings, office towers, warehouses, shopping centers, hospitals, data centers. By law, REIT must distribute at least 90% of their taxable income to shareholders as dividends. Which means as a REIT shareholder you receive regular dividend income from real estate without owning a property, dealing with tenants, paying a mortgage, or coming up with a $60,000 down payment. Publicly traded REIT can be purchased through any brokerage account exactly like a stock. Prices range from under $10 to several $100s per share. With $1,000 you could build a small diversified REIT position across several property types, residential, industrial, healthcare, and start receiving quarterly dividend income. The returns aren't guaranteed. REIT can decline in value like any stock, and they are particularly sensitive to interest rate changes. But historically, REIT have provided returns competitive with the broader stock market, plus the dividend income component that pure growth stocks don't provide. For someone who believes in real estate as a long-term wealth-building vehicle, but can't yet afford to buy property directly, and that is a lot of Gen Z and millennials right now, REIT are a legitimate way to get exposure to real estate returns with $1,000 and no mortgage required. So there are the 8. The skill investment that can return 500% if you pick the right one. The micro emergency fund that protects every other investment you make. The high-interest debt payoff with its guaranteed market-beating return. The Roth IRA with its extraordinary tax-free compounding math. The individual stock education portfolio that teaches you things no course can. The income-generating tool investment for people with active side hustles. I-bonds for inflation protection that almost nobody your age knows about. And REIT for real estate exposure without a down payment. Here's what ties all 8 together. The best use of $1,000 is not the same for everyone. It depends entirely on where you are in your financial life right now. If you have high-interest debt, the debt payoff wins. If you have no emergency fund, the emergency fund wins. If you're 25 with no Roth IRA, the Roth IRA wins. If you have a side hustle that's limited by tools, the tools win. The mistake most people make with $1,000 is either doing nothing with it because they can't decide, and it slowly gets absorbed into daily spending, or doing the first thing they heard about without thinking about what their actual situation calls for. Run through the list. Match each option against your specific situation. One of these 8 is probably a significantly better fit for where you are right now than the others. That's the one you start with. And then you do it again with the next $1,000. And the one after that. Not because $1,000 changes everything by itself, but because the habit of making deliberate, informed decisions with money, every time you have money to work with, is the actual thing that changes your financial life over time. Drop a like if this gave you a clearer picture of your actual options. Subscribe if you want to keep getting the real financial analysis without the standard advice everyone's already heard.